Hello, this is the Cobra M40C push rotary mower, and this is how it arrives with you in this strong cardboard box. So what we need to do is to unfasten the box and unpack it, and then we can start to put our mower together, ready to mow our lawns. So packaging all around it to keep it safe in transit. Here we've got the grass box, which is on the top, so we can take the grass box out. And then down here we've got the operator's manual, which you need to keep safe and refer to. And then we can take the protective packaging off. The mower itself is quite heavy, so you're going to need somebody to help you lift it out, and then we can put it together and start mowing. So all the packaging needs to come off, even the little bags there that are just on to protect the wheels. And then we are ready to assemble. And assembly is really easy with this. All we've got to do is to fix the handlebars in position, and then we've got to make sure that it's fueled up with oil and petrol. So it only takes a matter of minutes to get it ready to start cutting the grass. So the first thing is we need to take out these nuts and bolts here. This is where the handle is going to connect in, and these are only finger tight, so we can just take those out, making sure we don't lose the washers. We've got the flat washers and the spring washers and a nut and bolt. So there are two of those on either side of the mower. So that's for this side, and then repeat it on this side as well. Just keep those nice and safe, because we're going to need those in just a couple of minutes to put it all back together. So this is the handle here that is sort of folded up on itself. You'll notice it's got two plastic covers just here. They need to be taken off. Again, they're just put on just to protect it in transit. So we just slide those off. So it's simply just a case of lifting up the handlebars like that. We're going to make sure that the throttle cable is kept in the right position, and then we're just going to put these into position there. And we can see if we put the base down, it just takes a little bit of the pressure off there, and it's simply a case of lining up the holes with the framework, and then we can push through the bolts. So just wiggle a bolt through to get it into the hole, round it off so that the square bit locks in, and then we can do the same on the top one. Just make sure that that fits into there, and then what we're going to do is put on the flat washer first, and then the spring washer, and then we can put the nut on. And at this stage all we're doing is tightening it finger tight, just until we've got them all in, and then we can go round and we can tighten them up with the spanner. So we repeat that on the top one: flat washer, spring washer, and then the nut finger tight. And then we do exactly the same on the other handlebar here. So it's the bolt from the inside out, and it locks into the square there, so that stops it twisting when we tighten up the nut, washer, spring washer, hexagonal nut. And then finally, to tighten them up, you need a 13mm spanner, and it's just simply a case of tightening them until they tighten onto that spring washer, and that's there to stop them vibrating off. So tighten them up until you've got some resistance, and there I can just feel that tightening now, and that is plenty tight enough. And then do the other side. The same with the top one. And once they've been tightened, we don't have to adjust those again. They're there permanently. Okay, so they're nice and tight. And then all we do with the top part, which is there, which can fold down for storage, just bring that into position, again making sure that we don't trap the cable there. And this has got a spring clip on that just simply lifts into position, just a bit of a pull, and then we can see we've got a nice firm handlebar there ready to operate the mower. And then in the bag you'll find this plastic clip, and this is to secure this is the engine brake cable. We just want it to be nice and securely fixed. So a little tip is to put the cable into the groove first, and then that will just simply clip into place and hold that nice and firm so it doesn't move around and cause any problems. So the assembly is really easy and we're now ready to mow, but before we can do that, of course, we've got to make sure that we've got the correct fuel in there. So we need unleaded petrol and we need some oil in the sump, and the mower does come with a bottle of 4-stroke engine oil, the right oil for the engine, so it's just a case of topping that up. This is a 600 millilitre bottle, but this model only needs 400 millilitres, so there's plenty of oil there, you've got a little bit of spare. The secret is, when you're putting the oil in, is never to overfill it. It's much easier to add a little bit more than it is to take it out. If you do accidentally put a little bit too much in, the engine will smoke when you start it up. If you put not enough in, then potentially it could cause damage. So we do need to get it as near to that 400 millilitres as possible. So it's just simply a case of pouring some engine oil in there nice and slowly into the filler on the side, the yellow filler, which is very easy to identify, and just gradually pour that in and let it flow down into the sump. Okay, right, so I think I've got about enough in there. So the final check, of course, is to dip the dipstick down there. So this is the dipstick. So once you've let the oil settle down into the sump, you can screw that completely in to the engine so it's in contact with the oil, and then we can take it out and we can just have a look at the base of the dipstick, and we should see the oil. It's new oil, it's clean of course, but if I look closely there, I can see that the oil has come up to the maximum point on the dipstick. So we know now the oil is right and ready to go. And finally, we need to put some fuel in there, and we need petrol, unleaded petrol, and always use fresh petrol. Don't find a can that you've had in your shed or your garage for the last year or so, because that will have gone stale and it makes it difficult for the mower to start. So you do need fresh petrol. This is unleaded, so we're just going to tip some into there. There we go, and that's more than enough to get us started. So we're now ready to start the mower. So I'll show you the starting procedure. So this mower is a pull start, so we have the recoil here. So we need to fix that onto the handlebar to get it at an easier, more convenient height. So if we pull in the brake handle there, that just takes some of the compression off the engine, and we can pull that out carefully, and then it just loops around this little hook here. It just makes it nice and convenient to pull in the future. This mower hasn't got a throttle, it's got an automatic choke, so we don't have to worry too much about it when we start in. It just runs at the same revs all the time. But at the front there is a little primer button there that we push 3 times when the engine is cold. And finally, before we pull the recoil, we're going to lift the mower to the maximum height just to make it easier to start. We pull in the brake lever and then give it a pull. Because it's never been started before, it's brand new, it might take 2 or 3 pulls, but let's give it a go. First time. There, so just let it warm up for just a few seconds just to get the oil around the engine. To stop it, we just release this lever. So we're now ready to mow. If you want to collect the grass clippings, of course, there is a bag, and that just simply hooks on at the back. So we just lift the back flap and we just simply hook it on into place like that. Just lower the flap and that holds it into place. So you are now ready to mow, but just remember to put these things in a safe place. This is the spark plug socket, so you'll need that if ever you need to remove the spark plug to check it. And you've also got the owner's manual and the engine manual. So they have all the instructions on assembly and the running of your mower. So keep those safe, and that's it. Ready to start mowing. Happy mowing and enjoy your Cobra mower.
Remember to register your Cobra online at www.cobragarden.co.uk, and always have your Cobra serviced regularly. Check the website for your nearest dealer.